Hey, good peoples. Welcome to Nadine Car Chronicles. For those of you that are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, Nadine Car Chronicles was birthed to strengthen you, encourage you, lift you, and inspire you. But more than that, it is to point your heart to God's heart. Because why have those other things if you're not anchored? Right? And so those other things come and go, but being anchored in someone that doesn't change, like our God, that keeps you through this life. So that's what this is. Story time, Nadine Car Chronicles, is all about. Thank you for tuning in. Without further ado, here's today's story. So when I first came home from prison, they released me into what's called a halfway house, a transition home. You're allowed to stay there 8 months to 1 year. It affords you to get home a little earlier, but there are some stipulations for you to stay there. You have to secure a job, you have to keep a job, and you have to pay the courts restitution while you're there. And so I said, no problem. I was able to secure a job. I started working at this insurance law firm. That was a test. That was a test. The thing is, when you get out, you get a probation officer, and the probation officer informs your employer about your stipulations. And so they know now that you need this job, because if you're not working, then you're going back to prison, and they know you don't want to go back to prison. So it's fine for someone to know that, unless that person has a bad heart and they use it to their advantage. They use what they know about you and your circumstance and your stipulation. They can use that to their advantage. They abuse their power because they know that you're not going to leave because you need the job. So while I was working at this place, it was about 3 of us in this office that ran the administrative side of the business, of the company. And I was a support person to those that were in the office. I was a support person. The person who ran the office manager, was my boss. And that lady, she was just a mean-spirited lady. Y'all hear me? You know, there's some people that you come across in life that no matter how you treat them, no matter how kind you are to them, no matter how gracious you are, they're just mean-spirited. That's what this woman was. She had it in for me, and the reason why she took it out on me the most in that office, because she knew I was in a delicate situation where prison was being used over my head. So she would have me walk for miles, right, to get food. She would have me go to this particular place to get food miles away it doesn't matter, raining, snowing, it doesn't matter, miles away to get food or coffee. And I would come back and she would be like, and what took you so long? And I'd be like, oh, I was trying to, I had to walk, she's like, I know where it is, because I didn't have a car. She said, next time, come back quicker. I know you need this job. So you make sure you get back here on time. Or she'll pile the work on top of me. Work for like 3 people. And she would want it done by the end of day. And that it will get to the end of day. And I had to leave to go pick up my daughter. And she'll be like, and where do you think you're going? And I'll be like, oh, I have to go pick up my daughter. She's like, oh, so we need to get somebody else to do your job. Because we can do that. But I know how much you need this job. So she would do stuff. She would belittle me in front of people, in front of the staff, in front of clients. I mean, this lady was just, she was Helga from hell. And here's the thing, right? Like I had a house that my mom, that I came up in, but the streets really raised me. And so I would go into that bathroom and cry my eyeballs out. And you know why I would cry my eyeballs out? Because what I really wanted to do with that lady was take her and just drag her through that office. And so I would be literally like, Lord, you got to do something, because I'm ready to put hands on this lady. Now, I was a believer. I'm like 5 to 6 years saved and all of that stuff. And I mean, this lady was testing me. Y'all hearing me? That I would have to go in that bathroom and just cry it out. Because maybe I wouldn't have put hands on her, because, but I would have given her a lashing with my mouth. And I had a choice to make. Nadine, you can give her a lashing with your mouth. You can put hands on this lady. I mean, and we were there many times. You could do all of that and go back to prison, or you can be led by the Spirit and not your emotions. You can walk out Galatians 5. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. See, because Nadine, you can't just talk it. You got to actually live it. And there are certain circumstances in life, guys, listen to me, that God will not deliver us from. He delivers us through it. We got to go through it. Why? Because there's some things in us that God has to get out of us. There's some things in us that God wants to develop. And God wants to prepare us for what he has for us. So you're going to have to go through certain seasons so you can handle the season that's up ahead. God was using that season to refine me. I call it the 3 Ps. He was using it to purify me. He was using it to prepare me, and he was using it to prove who he was in my life. Because Nadine was used to relying on herself, and there's nothing like feeling like you got nothing. You can't depend on yourself in this situation. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and God was going to show me what it looks like to depend on him. What does it look like, Nadine? If you're calling me your sustainer, your deliverer, your strong tower, your protector, okay, you're not going to experience that by still waters. You're going to have to go through the valley. You're going to have to face some opposition. Now, listen, I don't believe that every opposition is satanic, is from the devil. He can use it. But I believe that there's some oppositions that we go through that is not, Satan can't get the credit for. Certain oppositions we go through is simply because of people. Broken people, unhealed people, traumatized people, all of these things, people that just don't like to, they're just mean-spirited. They don't like to see people full of joy around them. Why? Because they don't have it. So they come to steal your joy. They come to disrupt your life. They don't like seeing people content and fulfilled, and you just came out of prison and you walking in here with a smile. I'm going to change that. So there are certain things that we go through for the simple sake of people being people with their brokenness. And God uses all of it to develop us, to strengthen us, to fortify us, to deliver us. From what? From us. From the stuff inside of us. God was teaching me in that season how to be humble and how to depend on him. Eventually, I moved to Florida. I handed in my resignation letter, and she was like, and what is this? And I was like, it's my resignation letter. If you don't have a job, you go back to prison. Yes, I know. I'm going to inform your probation officer. That's no problem. They already know. I'm already gone, lady. And you don't have another job. No. And where do you think you're going? Leaving here. I left there in peace. I didn't leave there because somebody made me leave. I didn't leave there because somebody was mean to me. I didn't leave there because someone pushed me out. I left there because my assignment was up. God said, it's time now. Now you can step into the next that I have for you. So I left there with peace intact. Later on, the owner of the company called me while I was living in Florida and offered me a position there. He had fired her, heard all about it and fired her, and wanted me to come back in a higher position. And I said, no, I'm fine. And he was like, no, but she's not here. I said, I didn't leave because of her. I left because the assignment was up. I left because God had completed in me for that season what he wanted to get done in me in that season. And so it prepared me for other seasons to come. Listen, this is why I'm saying there are some things that we got to go through. God ain't going to stop it. He's not going to get you out of it. No, he's going to walk you through it. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't have to go through the fiery furnace. But it's in that fiery furnace that they knew that there's a God that is for them, that will go with them in the fire and protect them from the flames and deliver them when it's time to come out of it. And they came out of it giving God the glory, and everybody around it, including the king, gave God the glory as well, because they experienced God, not just heard about him, but they experienced him as their strong tower, as their deliverer, as their firm foundation, as their protector, they not only knew the God that they read about, but now that same God they were experiencing. So whatever it is that you're going through, the God who is with you will also see you through. God bless you.